That's all we need to do for the thing. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, the 24th. It's the 24th of April, and today is day number 1 of the TJF 101 Original Flow class. And I'm so excited. Look at all these people right here who are in the class today. This is fantastic. I love it. Big group, and it is the start of a whole new journey for a lot of you. I'm hopeful that everybody who's here today will find the inspiration to continue and go through the entire curriculum and be a part of our apprenticeship program and eventually get your certification as a TJF conductor instructor and all the things that go with it. That as many of you as I can entice will become part of the TJF for Veterans program, but also that there's lots of other opportunities to share TJF with other people, and we're training you on how to do all of that. So I'm like so jazzed you have no idea. It's really awesome. Today we're going to start off with an introduction, sort of a general, like first day of college, first day of class, and an overview of the syllabus and stuff like that. We're going to have enough time to do lots of Q&A. So I'm hopeful that we can drag out questions if you're reluctant to ask questions. You know what? I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm going to keep it a secret, and we'll just reveal it as we go. How's that sound? The way that we will generally start every live session is with a little bit of flow. So right now I'm going to turn on some music, and all you have to do is just get up and push the breakables out of the way and come join me and we'll dance. And that's that. Oh, and I got this music. Ah, that's fantastic. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it this way.
That'll wake you up.
Oh, won't it, though? Now it's stuttering, but that's okay. Hey, before we get going on this first day of class, here's the thing to know, that today, right now, next 15 minutes, you do not have to learn anything. Isn't that nice? Nothing to remember, nothing to figure out, and in fact, nothing to, just follow, just do what you see. I don't care, because if you go this way and this way, we go, it don't matter, because I'm just glad you're here, that's all. But this is how I'm going to start. Opening up the heart, opening up the breath, and opening up and emptying out the mind. Because I keep telling you, thinking will not help you. So you might as well just let it go now. Arms rising and falling like the wings of a baked bird. Some of you have heard this story before. I started doing this several years ago, doing a conference up in Aspen, Colorado. We were up in a mountain meadow, and I looked up, and there was this hawk or something opening up its wings, and I'm like, wow, he's doing Tai Chi in the air. This is just like that. This time, the arms float up, let them round out, right into front. Fingertips almost, but not quite touching, and then floating down in front of your body. Call this sinking the chi, because I'm gathering up big handfuls of energy, tucking them into my middle, and squishing them down into my toes, sinking the chi. All right, now stay with me. One foot steps out to the side. I don't care which foot. Get in front. Hands float up. And then everything melts down. And float up again. Melting. This is a movement that is often translated as opening the door, but the actual word in Chinese is like literally translated as go, like start. All right, floating up, round out the arms again, another big hug. Inhale and open. This hand scoops around underneath while this one goes on top like a big round ball. Open it up again. Other way around. And still melting. Now this big round ball is something we actually refer to as the moon. And here I am embracing the moon. Last one. Beautiful. And then the fingertips drift back together. Hands turn palms down. And back to the beginning, sinking the chi. That was so much fun. Let's do that again. Why not? Sinking the chi. Hands float up in front. I'm a rolling stone. Opening the door. Bound to roll. Come on. The reference to opening the door is actually, it goes right along with the whole start translation. Because you're beginning a journey right now. And there's an old Dutch proverb that says the hardest part of the journey is to get outside the door. One more time. Beautiful. Floating back up, another hug right there. Inhale and open, embracing the moon. If it's hard to see what I'm doing because the video is stuttering, just fake it. Last one. Nice. The fingertips drift back together. Hands flatten and float down. One more time. Sinking the chi. Hands float up in front. Around chest high. Just let them hover. And sway your body side to side. Like that hawk in the air. Probably still there, cruising around in the skies above the meadow in Aspen, Colorado. Just drifting. Now, you know, one thing about drifting side to side is it makes one side or the other completely weightless. So as I get over to this side is weightless. I can just take one foot and just tap the heel down. That's easy. Bring it on back and drift over to the other side. One heel down. Easy. Drifting. One heel down, and the other hand just above the foot. One heel down, one hand above the foot, and the other hand right above the knee-ish, kind of. Yes, exactly. Foot, hand, over knee, and we've just magically created a new position called playing the peepaw. There's no D at the end there, by the way. Peepaw. Play the peepaw, yes. And then once we've done that, we can do this, big circles. To get to the other side, playing the peepaw. Big circles, small circles. Even like this, breathe in, breathe out. Play the peepaw one more time. Oh, I thought you guys have done this. All right, this hand circles around, catching the moon again. And then hide one hand away. Take this hand and just take the moon, launch it across the room, out the window, over the neighbor's yard. Is that something to think about this morning? Add that top hand back in it. Let the moon fly away. And as one moon goes out, the other one stays behind. The yin-yang thing. All right, stay with me. Here comes the big circle. Big circle. Circle. Breathe in. Breathe out. Excellent. Now, stay with me. This hand circle, catching the moon, and then one hand hides away, off the other hand. Launching the moon across the other neighbor's yard. Good. Adding that top hand back in again. You actually have a name for this. Not really. It's called parting the horse's mane. But I don't care if you call it that or not. One more time. Here comes the big circle. You ready? Big circle, small circle, hail. Circle this hand around, catch the moon. A little step in here if you don't mind. Hide one away and stepping out into the corner. Toss away. By the way, once again, I remind you that I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You do whatever you like, because I don't care. Let's add the top hand back in again, if you want to. Parting the horse's mane. Ready for the big circle? Here it goes. One more. You know what to do. Circle this around. And a little step in. This is kind of a nice thing. in the top hand, back in again, and one goes out, and one stays behind. This little piggy went to market. I've never said that before. One more time, if you don't mind. Parting the horse's mane, and then big circle. Here it comes. Awesome. Last one. And then play the peepaw becomes a big hug, which I bring right back to the middle. It's for you. Inhale and open. Back to the beginning, sinking the chin. And then this foot returns. And that's as good as we get this morning. All right. Come on back in. Have a seat. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Here we go. Just a little revelation here. I actually have a countdown timer that's supposed to let me know how long the playlist is, and it kept resetting itself the entire time we were playing. So I'm like, no, it can't still be 15 minutes. I'm like lost. But you did fantastic. I'm watching. And those of you who have your cameras off this morning, I'm clairvoyant. I can see you anyway. So I know which ones of you are actually doing it in your pajamas and which ones of you are still just sitting on the couch drinking coffee. I can tell. All right. Well, so we're going to have some time for Q&A today, because I know I can hear lots of questions and curiosities and whatnot, but I'm going to hold on to that for a little bit here, because we're going to do something really special right now. During this course, for the next 12 weeks of the course, and by the way, it'll extend a little bit longer than 12 weeks chronologically, because there are a couple of days when I'm out of town, a couple of days when I'm traveling to conferences, and so there'll be a bit of a break every now and then. Not too many, so it's not going to extend it, indefinitely. But during the course of the next 12 weeks of live sessions, you're actually going to be buddied up with a couple of other people to form what, for the time being, we're calling a lab group. It just came, I was trying to figure out what we're going to call it, and I kept thinking of the times when I was in college, and we'd have a class where you went off to a lab outside of your classroom, and you had some lab buddies, and you did work together, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so you're going to be having some lab buddies to study with for the rest of this course, to meet and practice with. We're going to be making homework assignments to go see Judy. Judy, there you go. Let me put you on the screen there too. And I'm going to get rid of me. So this is Judy.
Right here.
And so Judy is our mentor and also our practicum proctor. So you'll get a chance to know her very well. And you'll go to see her with your lab group, with your lab buddies. And so to figure out who your lab buddy is, I've thrown it up to God and Zoom. So we're going to start some breakout sessions in just a second here. And when you get into your breakout sessions, that will be your lab group.
Can we call it a study group?
I don't care what you call it.
Oh. Oh boy.
I know, because we're gonna lose our industry rating here momentarily. All right, so Bear with me here. If you've never done lab groups before, breakout rooms before in Zoom, it's going to just pop up on the screen and say, this is your new room, and you'll just click on it and you'll go into it and you'll be automatically assigned there. All right, wait a minute. There.
I think we should call it our pod.
Flow pods. That's not bad, Makan. That's not bad at all.
Flow pods.
Flow pods. I'll check the trademark.
It's like that science fiction film where everybody ended up being in a pod.
But also whales are in pods. Or it's at dolphins. Dolphins are in pods, I think. My hotel room coffee is in pods. All right.
So
Judy,
here we are in all in plastic containers.
Yeah. Judy, I'm going to put you in this room there.
I don't want to. Who am I? Let's see.
And then I will be back. Jim, are you having a hard time finding your breakout room button?
Well, I was in it, and it was myself and one other person, and I think I thought I left this meet too quickly. So I'm going to go back there and see what the instructions are.
I see. There's Audra. She's your pod buddy, and she was waiting for you, and she got discouraged. So
okay, so I have to go back.
Yeah, go on back, guys. And there's another person
How?
who's gonna. Oh, so if you go down to the bottom of your screen, there should be breakout rooms as an icon.
If you're on Android, it might be over on the side instead of at the bottom.
I see it. Join breakout room. I'm trouble already. Sorry.
I'll keep my eye on you. Diane, I know you're in the car there, so it might be a little tricky for you, but I've assigned you to a breakout room. And when you get to a place where you can, don't be dangerous with your driving there, but you've got a breakout room assigned, just so you know. William, are you having a challenge getting into your breakout room there?
Hi, I was supposed to be in room, this is Lindsay. I was supposed to be in room 2 and it got me bumped out. Then I was bumped to room 6.
I was looking at the list there, and some of the groups were lopsided. So if you don't mind, I just put you in another group to even out the numbers.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Wherever you want that. I was confused.
Don't worry about it. Confusion is our middle name.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, okay, William. Are you on a laptop or Android or iPhone or?
I'm on an iPad.
Okay, you should be fine, Lindsay. I want to help William out as well because
Okay.
he has the look of confusion, which I recognize very well because I see that in my own mirror daily.
It's yeah, I'm on a desktop. I was in room 5 and somehow I am not anymore.
Okay, so let me check where I've got you. You know what will help? So you're still in room 5, and you could just click on. Do you see your breakout room join button?
Yes.
Okay, just click on that again, and it'll take you in there. I saw a shout for help from this room. But so everybody, when you get into your breakout room, your mics automatically go on mute. So if you're like, I can't hear anybody, it's because your microphones are muted. So you just have to unmute yourselves. And if you still need any assistance, just let me know. Just shout out there and I'll come back. So here's what I want you to just get acquainted with each other, maybe talk a little bit about some of the things that you're anticipating in getting out of this class, this course, and you know, coming up with some questions that when we do the Q&A portion, you'll be able to ask, and that's it. And then we're going to come back and talk about other stuff. Anyway, all right, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, how do I get out? How do I leave, Mr. Wizard? There we go. Hello, G. Oops, there we go. Hello, G. Good morning. You're on mute there for a second, my friend. So just gotta unmute yourself.
Hi, sir. It's an honor to meet you, sir. You are the coolest. You are the coolest, sir. I've been following your app, and you're so cool, sir. We'll have to definitely talk someday.
It's all done with mirrors, brother. It's all done with mirrors.
Yeah, I'm not good. I was just telling Kyle I'm not very good at the Zoom thing. You know, I'm a knuckle dragger, sir. So I'm not really good at this whole. This is new to me.
No worries. We're gonna have lots of time to play around with this kind of stuff. Did you guys get into your breakout rooms?
We did. We weren't sure how long to hang out. So after we were done chatting, we jumped back in here.
So I'm going to push you back into the breakout rooms and give you another thing to chat about. It's like maybe come up with some, when we do the Q&A portion, a lot of times I say, all right, let's ask questions. And everybody's like, oh God, I wish I had a question. So maybe chat a little bit about that and you can come up with some questions for the Q&A portion. And then I will come and bring you guys all back in just maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Yeah, so you should be able to get back into your breakout rooms.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Hey, this is Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
I was bumped back to room 6. So I was originally in 2, then I was in 6, and then I joined 6 and no one was there.
Oh,
so now I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, that was us. We left because we thought we were done.
Okay, well, hello.
All right. See, it's their fault. It's not me this time.
Well, nice to meet everybody.
So, Lindsay, head on back to room 6 and you guys can chat a little bit. And
Okay,
we'll
sounds good.
Clive, did you ditch your buddies? You're on mute. Oh, there. Go back. Okay. We're going to see everybody come pop out back in here in a second, so we'll just kind of hang out for a moment. From my side, every time we either start a new session, start a new Zoom meeting, or this kind of thing happens, this is like it's like throwing a party, and you see all your friends sort of show up, and it's like, oh my God, look, Jim's here. Oh, that's fantastic. It's the little things that make me happy. I'm easily entertained. My wife calls me a cheap date. It just, like, let's go walk around the block. I'm so happy. All right. Judy, note to self, before sending people to the breakout rooms, make sure you tell them what they're supposed to do there. I realized that I had sort of incomplete instructions. And so I apologize for that. I was just so excited about getting everybody into there. It's McConn's fault. I blame McCann because the whole flow pod thing it was so incredibly intense.
It's all my fault.
It's all
I take
your
total
fault, man.
responsibility for it.
So what I had in mind, just to share with you, was as you get acquainted with one another, to maybe chat a little bit about expectations for this course and curiosities and things that you'd heard or that, it's like, oh my God, I hope we talk about this, because soon we're going to get to the Q&A portion. And especially when we're just kind of getting to know each other, it's really common to go, hey, what questions do you have? And everybody's like, oh, was I supposed to have questions? I forgot. So having a chance to talk about it, you could have some questions at the ready, whatever. I will be better prepared next time, I promise. So here's another aspect of the way the course is going to run. Almost every
Did you catch that?
Probably, but every live session, mostly every live session, we'll have an opportunity to go into the breakout rooms where you guys will work on worksheets together or do some small group practice on some of the movements and all that kind of stuff like that. Now, so we've just formed the breakout groups, and let me see if yeah. So we've just formed the breakout groups. Now, here's the thing about the breakout groups. I know that a lot of you are in different time zones, even different countries. Some of you have, other responsibilities and families and work and stuff like that. So we know that there'll be things that just don't work out very well. Like you may say, I just can't make it at those particular times as everybody else does, or it's middle of the night when everybody else is free, or I can't work with Jim. It's just too difficult, and so I'm gonna request a different group. Like we'll accommodate. I promise. We'll figure that out. But for the most part, I've let Zoom make the call, and so we'll now run with that. Over the next couple of days, the team back at TJF Central will post the groups there, and there'll be a permission asked about, is it okay to send your contact information, your email address or whatever to everybody else. We're not going to do that automatically. We're going to make sure that that's okay with you. And then that's how you guys are going to be able to connect with one another and then do the homework assignment. Does that make sense? So just wait for that, probably tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest, just to get all that out. All right. So I want to start today by giving an overview of some of the basic concepts, like what is this course about and what can you expect to cover? And this course, the TJF 101, is called An Introduction to the Flow Experience. So we're going to cover, in fact, I know that some of you have already done this, taken the glossary of terms quiz, because we have all kinds of different terms and phrases that we use internal to our training, which have, maybe different, definitions than you would use in common everyday speech, or different ways of talking about things. And so one of them is the fact that inside our conversation, we don't actually call that thing we just did there, we don't call it a class or a session or something like that. We call it an experience. One of the things that in one of the other courses you're going to take in the philosophy course, for example, we distinguish between an event and an experience. Right? An event is an external thing. It's an objective thing that happens. But an experience is a subjective thing. It's an internal thing that is very different and very individual for everybody, right? But we have a goal in our method of leading people into a particular kind of experience that we call the flow experience. And that flow experience, you'll get to know pretty well over the next 12 weeks or so. The first time around that you get into a little session like that, you're probably thinking a lot about, like, what am I doing and what's he saying and how is this supposed to work and everything like that. But little by little, you'll get used to not thinking. You'll get more comfortable with just like following and letting whatever happens, happens. And then there'll be some moment when all this thinking stops. And in that moment, it's like you're in this timeless, effortless space, just purely blissful. And and you don't even know how long you've been there until, suddenly you're realizing that it just happened and you're going, oh, that was so cool, but now I'm thinking again. That's what's called the flow experience. And it is a quick insight into what we call your authentic self. That place where there's no more stress, there's no more, stories that you tell about yourself and about the world and about the other people around you. It's just purely authentic, blissful, timeless, effortless, beautiful. And this course is an intro to that. It's an intro to not only your own experience of the flow state, but also how you, as an instructor, can lead other people into that flow state. Does that make sense? So that's the intention of this course. And, it's something that I personally had this marvelous, marvelous gift of having the very first time I ever did Tai Chi. And then it disappeared. It went away. And it took me a long time. It took me, I would guess about 3 years to find that experience again. And once I found that experience again, the rest of my career, the last 35, 40 years, has been how do I create a system that can recreate what I found for everybody else. Anybody who comes in who would like to take this class would get more than they bargained for. That it was not just like some groovy dancing, but actually this experience of their authentic flow state. And so that's what this course is. At the end of this course, this time around, that we're going to take a break, and it's not typical of the way that we run the classes, but we're going to take the summer session off because we're preparing for a big launch in the fall. We're nailing down all the different things that we do in the apprenticeship program. One of the things that we're planning on doing in the apprenticeship program is launching free classes for senior facilities. So places like residential centers and community senior centers and whatnot, to arrange for us to be able to do free classes for them online like this. And so we're working on setting up the infrastructure for all of that, and that's taking a little bit of time. So at the end of this course, which will take us through until June, I guess, almost July, then we'll take a break for summer, and then you guys will come back.
Of course they will.
Of course they will, in the fall session, which will probably start in September. I'm thinking that's all of the housekeeping I had to do right there. So what we're studying in this curriculum is not just like how do I talk about classes and how do I teach Tai Chi and how do I do the Tai Chi Fit routine or whatever. It is actually a complete method we call the Tai Chi Fit method. And it's almost coincidental that we're doing the Tai Chi Fit method to teach flow, right? I say coincidental, with an understanding that I chose to do that. That was what I wanted to do, was to, use this to teach the Tai Chi Fit movements. But you could use Tai Chi Fit method for anything. You could use it for other kinds of movement. You could use it to teach language and music and mathematics and history, like anything that you could think about sharing with other people. The Tai Chi Fit method is a teaching method more than a style of Tai Chi or something like that, right? So one of the characteristics of this method is that we don't even attempt to teach anything. So the definition, the distinction of teaching involves learning, right? The purpose of teaching is that so somebody else on the other side will learn. And learning is a function of memory, of remembering. So our participants in our sessions, right, in our experiences, we don't care if they remember anything. For one thing, there's a myth that the way people learn or remember things is by paying attention, getting the right information, internalizing it, refining it, and focusing on it until you're good at it, until you fully remember it. And I hate to break it to you, especially if any of you are teachers, professors, or in that profession, that's not how the human body and brain work. It doesn't work that way. So the human memory is a function of repeated exposure, rehearsal. So it's literally the quantity of times that you are exposed to this experience, and then your body remembers that over time. It's neuroplasticity. It is the function of your brain making new neural pathways that then, when stimulated, go back to that pattern of behavior, right? Your nervous system, has a way of taking something that flashes into your experience and then responding to it with perceptions and thoughts and actions and whatnot. But it takes time. It takes time for the brain to wire itself like that. And so that period of time where it wires itself like that needs exposure over and over again. So it goes, oh, that's reinforcing that neural pathway again and again. Your brain goes, that's familiar. I know what that is. Right? Which is part of the secret to getting into the flow experience. When your nervous system recognizes the exposure to this opportunity to be fully authentic instead of being sort of programmed, then it will just start to push you, thrust you into the flow experience almost effortlessly. And that is the coolest shit ever, I'm telling you. So part of the method, as I said, is not trying to teach anybody anything. And the other part of the method is about manipulation and trickery. Yes. So just being really transparent about this right up front, what we are manipulating and what we're trying to trick people into is not thinking, right? Thinking is what we call the flow killer. Thinking in this context, in this way of doing it, thinking is like stressful. Thinking is going to bring up judgment. Like, not for nothing, I caught like 4 of you at least going, God, I suck. Oh God, this is like I'm so bad at this already. It's like I probably won't last 3 seconds. Like I heard it. It's like, right. So that's what thinking gets you, right? And that kind of stress is the flow killer. It just blocks it off right there. So I do my best to tell as many inappropriate fart jokes as possible to keep you from thinking about anything. Right? So this is a technique that we'll learn called flow cueing. And there's a more serious technical side about how this works, but we're going to go over that as well. Another part of the TJF method is knowing when the inappropriate fart jokes will actually work, when they'll have a planned effect. Like it probably occurs to you like, this dude is random as hell. Like I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. It's like it's going to be really weird. But everything that I do, every joke that I tell, every cue that I make, every big loud obnoxious sound I make is planned, is part of the method. It has a deliberate intent, timed to something that I'm addressing, something that I've observed in the behavior of the group. And so then I use the cueing, I use the manipulation and the trickery to address like a loss of flow, or sometimes the opposite. So that I can see flow deepening, and so I'm going to go deeper into whatever cue was just stimulating that. That's part of the method as well. So we call that observation and assessment skills. And we'll be, going over that as part of your training in this course. We will learn in this course a complete routine. In fact, we'll learn two versions of the routine. One is a standing version, and the other is a seated version of this routine. Now, here's the thing, again, with the trickery and the deception and whatever, you are going to learn the routine, but then when you deliver this to your participants, they shouldn't know this is a routine. For them, it's just like totally like, okay, what are we doing today? I don't know. We're just going to follow, right? So again, and to be able to do that, I'm going to teach you how to be flexible in your choreography. Like, we're going to give you an initial choreography, but then I'm going to show you how to be flexible with it so that it can be new every time you're doing an experience. But I think that is the basics of what I wanted to share with you today. Let's talk just briefly about how the course concludes, how the course ends. So at the end of the 12 live sessions, you'll have your final exam, which is right now it's a 60 question exam, but we're adding 20 more questions, so it'll be an 80 question final exam, true, false, multiple choice, that kind of thing, which you'll take online. And then a live practicum, live meaning online, but with a real live person, Judy, who I think is still a real live person. Yeah, so you'll be taking it with Judy, and when we get towards the end of the course, I'm going to show you the breakdown of how we score that practicum. So the material that you're learning in this class has different weights. And I'll give you a hint, a little preview of how we weight this. So the number one thing that you're responsible for as a conductor instructor in the different sessions is safety, right? And so when we weight the way that we grade the practicum, of course, safety has got more weight than anything else. Right? But in terms of technique, there's all these other kinds of things. There's the cueing, and there's the observation assessment, and there's going to be music, and there's going to be all this. And then way down the list down here are the movements and the choreography. Now, they're still important, because you fuck that up entirely, then you're not going to pass. But it's not as important as safety or cueing and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? So I say that to make a point of it, because from time to time people are like, get so hyper focused on learning the movements and everything. I'm like, that's really, really good, but you've got to also give some attention and energy to cueing and watching and that kind of stuff. So, but we'll cover that in the class. Okay, so I think that's my basic introduction to the course right now. So I'm going to open it up to Q&A. And as Judy said, if you wouldn't mind, if you've got a question, raise your electronic hands. If nobody raises their electronic hand, you know what I do. I just start calling on people, and how that works, volunteering them. And then we're going to dance one more time. So, all right. Clive, yes, sir.
How does the music work? I mean, you had some, jazzy music there, and that was lovely. Do we provide our own music? Do you provide music? Does the music go with the choreography? How does that integrate?
It's a really great question. So we spend a whole module on music. So music does play a very important role in the TJF method. We'll talk a lot about this, that every time you do an experience like this, you're actually telling a story. You're leading your participants through a narrative. It's behind the scenes. It's underneath. But this story is the hero's journey. right? It is the classic story of all stories. And the music that we play is the background. It's the soundtrack to that story of that day. And the way that we use music is that we recognize that certain parts of the story goes with certain kinds of music. And, you know, I was saying this yesterday in the class we were teaching. The first part of the hero's journey story is always like, hey, come on, let's go on a journey. It's going to be great. You're going to have so much fun, and we're going to see, you know, unicorns and stuff like that. And you don't want the soundtrack to be dun, 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 dun. Like, that's just probably not going to work, right? So we'll talk about use of music. The sources of music can be from a lot of different places. As when you graduate from this particular course, when you matriculate out of 101, you will get 2 different music licenses. Now, I don't know how this is going to work for you in the UK, because I don't think that ASCAP, you have a different music licensing group in the UK. So top 40 music and Taylor Swift and, you know, Led Zeppelin, you're going to have to find your own way on those. But you'll get another kind of music license from a group called Epidemic Sound. It's a website that has tons and tons and tons, like all the music I played today came from Epidemic Sound. And you'll have a music license to be able to use that. Does that help?
Yeah, cool. That sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great. Hey, Vincent, I see you got your hand up too.
Hey, good morning from Portland, Oregon, David.
Oh, it's my hometown, you know.
Oh, no way. Okay, that's great. Yeah, Judy just let me know you're in Seattle. So, yeah, we got some sun here in the Great Pacific Northwest. So, yeah, a little feather in the cap for today. I'm curious about the Tai Chi for Veterans program and what those of us in that program can expect.
One reason why we have instituted this apprenticeship program is to give you who are in the Tai Chi for Veterans program some real hands-on training about how to be successful at this. So there's several moving parts in there. There is a relationship that we have with you to train you to be able to safely, is one of our chief concerns, facilitate these classes for veterans. There's a relationship that the veterans have with the program itself. And a lot of veterans don't know that this program has all the different groovy stuff that it has, or that they're eligible. So part of what we're doing, you know, as a company is blasting out this messaging, marketing and you know, educating people as much as possible, educating veterans as much as possible to drive them into utilizing this program. And so the apprenticeship program is, you know, as we encounter more of these veterans, to filling up classes for you so that you get a chance to practice teaching them under supervision, get paid for it, by the way. It's not a volunteer thing during the apprenticeship program. It's a paid apprenticeship. And then the third leg of that, or a third leg of that, is how it works with the insurance companies and the VA itself to get paid and to do all that kind of stuff. So again, the apprenticeship program is the place where we teach you how to do all of that billing and all that kind of stuff. But like the first thing that has been sort of a challenge for a lot of the people who've been in the program is, how do I just get vets into my class, right? So that's part of the hands-on training that we have. We're going to show you, we're going to do it for you, show you how we're doing it, show you how you can do it for yourself. And once you finish your apprenticeship program, you can now totally be entrepreneurial about your own Tai Chi for Veterans classroom, or you can stay as part of our group practice. Either one, we love you and bless you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Cool. All right. What else? Other questions? I know you have some, you know. Yeah. Yeah, Audra, thank you.
So as we're going through this class and we're learning how to teach the Tai Chi Fit method and the flow experience and all of that, are we going to be teaching segments within the class, or is that just in the practicum?
No, thank you for asking the question, because I realize now that's something I forgot to talk about. It's in your study materials and whatnot, but it bears me talking about it. So there is something that we do called the Flow Show, which it has several purposes. One of the purpose is to give free classes to the community. So it's anybody can come to them. We live stream them out to Facebook and YouTube, and also we have the Zoom group that people can come to. They don't have to be a part of anything. They don't have to sign up for anything. It's entirely free. And you will be responsible for leading 10 of those during the course of this 12-week class. You'll be doing 5 standing flow shows and 5 seated flow shows. Now, so one of the other aspects of this is that the flow shows serve as kind of like a clinic. You know, how if you go to, if you're learning to be a massage therapist or an acupuncturist or something like that, you have clinic hours that you have to do, and so that you get practice under supervision and all that kind of stuff. You'll be doing your flow shows with your flow pod, with your other people. So they'll help you, they'll help support you. You won't feel like you're all by yourself and like, oh God, I don't even know if anybody's coming to my class. You know, your cohort will be there and then you'll rotate around and then the next person will lead. So, you know, it's a very supported kind of experience. But you'll also be learning how to teach classes online and, you know, and the kinds of things that happen specifically inside the Tai Chi Fit experience. Right? You'll be able to refine your observation and assessment skills because you'll be with live people to watch what happens and how that works. Does that make sense?
It does.
That was a great question, and I appreciate that you asked because I forgot to talk about that. That is a key part of actually successfully getting to your practicum. So you'll have done so many of these that by the time you get to your practicum, it's like, oh, this is I'm just doing another flow show. That's all. Super. Cool. Hey, Gary, I see your hand up. I don't see much else, but just your hand. And you're on mute, my friend. We'll come back to Gary. Ty, hello, sir.
How soon will we start our 10 flow shows?
I think tomorrow. Well,
is Judy sounding off?
Yeah. So you'll want to attend flow shows before you start. So I think our module on flow shows is like module 7, I think. So you have time, not to worry about it. But by the time we get there, we'll have gone through quite a lot in the live sessions, so that you'll have cueing under your belt and you'll have practice with your breakout groups in small groups like that. And like I said before that, you'll want to attend the flow shows so that you'll see. In the beginning, you'll come to mind, right? Because I'm doing this every Tuesday morning, and by the way, not for nothing, but they're also recorded. So you can go to Facebook and just pull up the recording of them, and you'll get to see the format. What's the format like, and how does that work? It's 15 minutes of flow with maybe some quick announcements if appropriate, and then a positive thought for the day. And I'll be teaching you, like how to write up and deliver that positive thought. You may have already done this before in your life, and sorry, that always happens in the middle of class. My mother calls. So you may have already done things like written positive thoughts for your own class or podcast or whatever, but we're going to go over it again in our group as well. Gary, did you find your mic there, brother?
There we go.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry about the video. I got lost when we came back from the breakout room. But my question is, do we need any special technology enhancements to do the flow shows?
That is a great question. In this course, in the Tai Chi Fit 101, original flow course, all you need is some kind of webcam and Zoom. That is all you need for as far as technology goes. When we get into the apprenticeship program, part of the training there is training in a sort of advanced technology use. Like, although I'm having a little lag stuff this morning, I use another kind of software that makes me do fancy things, right? That is not required. That is not necessary for this course. All you need is a webcam and Zoom and, internet. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question. Chantal, bonjour.
Bonjour, vous parlez français?
No.
Non. Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un dans le groupe qui parle français?
Those are my only two French words. We actually had, years ago, we had, when I was teaching flow shows 7 days a week, we had what we call fractured French Fridays. I would play French music, and then we would use bad French in class.
Yes,
So.
I'm like music English, but I do Tai Chi, and I speak French. It's okay for you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We've had a number. So we have students from all over the world. We have students from. Let's see. In our last session, last year we had students from Algiers. We have several students from the UK, and it's okay with us that they speak a foreign language as well. We have. I think you are our first Belgian student, but we have people in Canada, and we have
Germany.
Yeah, we have a number of people who are French speaking from Canada. So no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Here's the thing. So let me expand on this question, because this is actually a really great question. That the purpose, the sort of the development of you as a Tai Chi Fit conductor instructor is to have you comfortable with being completely authentic, including like expressing yourself in a way that feels true. It feels real. And if that means that you speak in it, because the Tai Chi Fit cueing method is beyond the language and the verbalizations, right? It is deeper into the intention of what. So, Chantal, if you spoke in French and you cued an entire class in French, but you really told me a story en français, I'd understand it. I'd understand the way that you were saying it. I might ask you to say, so, if you say à droite, that you do that, so that people might be able to follow you. But, language is not a barrier. Language is an enhancement. Comprends? Fantastic. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I know that there's probably more questions that we could all chat about, but because of the time that we have left today, what I want to do is just get up and do a little more dancing. Would that be okay with you? Okay, so again, I know that it's stuttering, it's lagging. I don't know why. So if you get like not sure what I'm doing, just fake it. Just make it up. That's all I'm doing. So. By the way, yes, I do have other music besides Memphis Blues. So eventually bring that out. Here's something that I made up for my child when she was in kindergarten. It's called The Octopus. It's kind of, we also made up something else. She made up something called the Piranha. So I was doing this. I was like, this is the Piranha. And no, Dad, you have to do this. The Piranha. Breathe in. Gather in, sink the chi. Big sigh. Right here, big sigh. One more time. Sinking the chi. Now, one foot steps out. In front and drift on up, and then drift on down. And float back up again, rising and falling, just like waves in the ocean. You know? Dip down into the trough of wave, and then float back up to the crest of the wave. It's like a piece of driftwood. Here we go, floating back up. Big hug. Give me a little squeeze so I know you mean it. And then open. And then embracing the moon. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Fingertips drift back together. Flatten. Drift on down. And then back to the beginning. Sinking the chi. All right, stay with me. Hands float back up. Another hug, because I can never get too many of those. And this hand right here, fall. Just kind of floats across like a leafy branch on a tree, blown by the wind. Can't forget about the other branch though, so goes across. By the way, I heard that. One of you said, do I have to keep my arm up there? I don't care. Back to this one, and it falls and then keeps going. Round and round it goes. And then the other branch falls and also going. And you want to see the tricky part? They both go, but not at the same time. Like yesterday, I told people not to chew gum, because if you chew gum and try to do, ooh, something breaks. Actually, we call this the clouds. Just drift across the sky like clouds do. When they get over to the corner, they make a big hug. They come back to center. Inhale and open. Back to the beginning, sinking the chi. Let's try that again. Hands float up in front. Round out for a big hug. Inhale and open. This hand falls. Drifts across. Floating up, and then the two hands change places, like clouds making new shapes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, now stay with me. As I get floating over to this corner, this hand up here on top turns over and makes a hook. The other hand completes its cloud. Take the seat, I'ma pack my grave. One more trip. Called the whip. The whip. Very cool. Very cool motion. Cool whip. Sorry, I had to. Release that hook and let it float on down, all the way through the mountain clouds. Pain flows. And as I reach this corner over here, this top hand turns over. Makes a hook, another cool whip. City lights, what lines your eyes? Don't look twice. Hook releases and floats on through clouds. This time, as you make that hook, a little step in is nice, and a step right out to the side. One more time. Release that hook and let it float on through. Clouds again. And as I reach this corner, take your time. Step on in and hook. Step on out. Awesome. You ready for this? One last whip, and then release the hook and let the hand float down. Couple more clouds, which becomes a hug right here in the corner. I bring it back to center. Heel toe my feet together a couple times. Inhale and open. Stay with me. Hands float up in front, round out, big hug, inhale and open. And now the reverse of sinking the chi, they all come down. Cross, there it is. Scooping under. Last one. Hands split apart. Flatten and float on down. The foot turns. So we could go on for a lot longer. That's all the time we got. Come on back in. We'll wrap it up and we'll get on out of here and go get a maple bar.
David Dorian,
Yes.
10 minutes.
5.
All right.
You guys look fantastic. Holy cow. I love it. Okay. So homework, because, what would a class be without homework? I hate that word. I don't hate that word. I'm not fond of that word. The work thing. Now, hardly anybody in this group is as old and craggy as I am, but once upon a time, children, there was this thing called TV. I don't know if you have ever heard of it, television. And way back in the day, there was a TV show. They used to have shows on TV, and there was a show called The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. And Dobie had a best friend who later on in life got a job on a cruise ship and then got stranded on a desert island. And his name was Maynard G. Krebs. And every time anybody said the word work, he freaked out. His whole nervous system tweaked and he went, work! So I have a problem with this word homework, right? So it tweaks me. I don't know. It's just fun stuff. So home fun stuff for the week. To preview module number 2 with there'll be assignments and we'll probably be adding some worksheets for you to do. And the way that I want you to do that is to get together with your flow pod. I'm trying it out. I want to see if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, So, and then work together to finish the homework there, and then make an appointment with Judy. So, Judy, if you wouldn't mind putting your contact information into the chat right now, then as a group, you'll go and hang out with Judy, and then week by week, module by module, what you'll do is, so these will be opportunities for you to review the conceptual homework that you are doing, as well as lots of opportunities to practice the movements and practice your techniques together. So if you will check out the chat thing in there to get her contact, we'll be posting it elsewhere as well, so that if you lose this one, we'll still have more places for that. As I said, maybe tomorrow, but most likely by Tuesday, we'll have those lists for everybody on the breakout groups, so that you'll know who everybody is, and then asking permission. And when we ask for permission, you can say no, right? You don't need my permission, but you don't have to say yes. Share my contact stuff with people. We'll figure out something. We'll figure out another way. We're creative like that. All right? So that's it. That's all I got for today. I know nothing more. So let me wish you a very, very happy weekend and a great week. Monday night, 4 p.m. Pacific time, GMT -8. I'm doing the Inner Flow show. So if you want to come and just chill out for the evening on Monday, I'll take you through a guided relaxation session. And then Tuesday morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, am doing the Tuesday Morning Flow Show. This kind of stuff. Right? So come and join me for that too. That's all I got. Have a great day. Get the hell out. I love you.
Bye. That bird is loud. Hi.
Hello. I I went to copy down all of the names on the breakout room list, and they all disappeared. Like, so now you don't have those groups anymore.
Well, I can't be in one.
No, you can't. I just put you in one just for the sake of playing.
There's a lot of them that have just 2 people. Why don't you combine them and make 4? And you won't have so many groups. You'll just have.
That was because some people weren't actually hanging out.